the camera that we use the most, and we're going to put in a different camera, and that's the camera that you know that we okay. So now we're here, right? We're here, and once again, it's our time to do the answer wheel. Now let's because sometimes it gets so difficult to get things done around here because it's just me. Be creative and do some things on the air that you probably wouldn't want to do on the air, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to make it work. You got to fly it while you're doing it, the whole nine, and that's what we're doing right now. Okay. If things are going to work for us. And right now, they're not. So let's see if we can get things moving here. Okay. All right. Got that. Let's see if it works now, and it's still not working. We're not getting in our music coming through today for some reason. Oh, because I don't have it in. That's why you've got to plug it in. We got it in now. And now we should be able to see. We are getting there. We are getting there. It's the answer wheel. You know what the answer wheel is. We do the answer wheel as a means of the universe being able to give you an answer to a query that you may be having trouble with currently. Gives you an opportunity to not hear from me, but I believe to hear from someone. That's just a gimmick. Well, I mean, the universe uses so many ways of speaking and communicating. Why not this one? Why not? I mean, I think more than anything, it's whether you have a listening ear and whether you release your belief system that this is the way that you can be heard and answered. If you say this is not for you, that's fine. I have a problem with that. But if you would listen and consider this as an opportunity, then it will be such for you as well. No doubt about it. So anyway, I'm happy that you're with me, and what we do with the answer wheel is we give you a chance to just that situation. Think about that query, that question that you may have, and he that has an ear to hear will hear. So here's what we have on our answer wheel, is like we always do. As you can see, the answer wheel, these are the answers. Yes, maybe, definitely, no way. Try again and ask a friend. And what we do is we give the answer wheel a little spin, and what happens is the answer wheel begins to eventually stop. And if it doesn't hit, so we want to bring it in so you can see all of it. There you go. And so now it's going to give us an answer. It goes around, and you see how it goes around? It's not anything I'm doing. I'm standing up. I'm over here. My hand's over here. Oh, The answer on the answer wheel says maybe. And, and you know what? Maybe has been coming up pretty frequently, and that's okay. Maybe is okay. I think actually think maybe is a good answer. As I said before, maybe gives us the opportunity to exercise some flexibility. Was the answer? It's not a yes. It's not a no. It's not a definite. It's a maybe. It gives you a chance to exercise your choice, and that is, what do you feel? Where is that inclination, that pull, that tug on the inside that pulls you one way or the other? Which one is it? Which way are you feeling it beating you or turning you forward? Um, that's that's that ability to choose. It's that ability to choose. So you can do that. You can do that without any trepidation. It was just listen and just identify what it is that you feel and go with it. And the universe is saying that's okay. Maybe this, maybe that, but you have to choose. And how do you choose? You choose by that pull on the inside of you. And so as you do that, what happens is you get a direction. And once you get a direction, go with that. Go with that. That's how I like doing the answer. It gives me a chance to, I really enjoy the music, and it gives me a chance to just settle in and to do some self examination. Actually, it allows me to look inwardly for home in my own life. And I'm by no means perfect. But my heart is for helping people. Helping people. That's where I get my joy. So, anyway, it's the Red Hot Mic. And I'm looking forward to sharing what we talk about this evening, this broadcast. It's going to be a little, it'll be a little provocative, maybe for some. Provocative in the sense that it's not something that you hear talking. Let me hear it. Because I think a lot of things that we're experiencing right now has a lot to do with human development, stages of development, masculinity, and area elements of sexual development. I think it's important because what we're seeing now, I want to address, I want to go on record about some things. Some people are going to say that it's misogynistic or chauvinistic, but it's not. It's not my personal. I bring it from a more universal perspective, I believe, and whether some people like it or not, some people like it. So no one's going to like everything we say. Those closest to you. So it's always about those that have an ear to hear. It's not about anybody else. When you know that you have a message, know that it's for those that have an ear. Don't be intimidated, but know that your message is for those that have an ear. I appreciate it. Let's get rid of the music and get ready to go into another aspect that I want to do. I want us to uh, try doing a little um, stress relieving and breathing exercise with you. And just take a deep breath in, let it out. In through the nose. Just settle yourself. You know, let your inside sit. Another deep breath. out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You just let ourselves relax. Let ourselves relax. I'm relaxed. Just with that. Um, this brought me to this place right now. I feel pretty good. Okay. So let's talk about. You see the. Let me put it in here because I don't have it in here. The There you go. There you go. Masculinity and femininity in modern media. What's being projected? What's being pushed? What's being focused upon? We're in a generation where we're seeing more and more relative to issues around masculinity and femininity. Now, I think that we have those terms, and if you want to get a better understanding, you could look at some of my other broadcasts. I'm not going to go into that again, not at this point. I may wind up going there, but I'm not going to do it now. As we begin to go, I want to just ask you a favor. I want to ask, would you subscribe? Just hit the subscribe button. That's all it takes. It's amazing how people, you ask for help and they don't want to give it to you for whatever reason. They don't like you. They don't like your message. Okay. But there's some people out there that can appreciate what I'm desiring to do. And I'm asking you, would you subscribe to this channel? Even if you don't listen all the time or tune in all the time. I believe that in YouTube that like the vast majority of people that are subscribed to a channel don't look at the channel. This is a new channel, but my goal is to give out content that will do this, and that it will continue to go, hopefully, throughout, and while and people can continue to tune into it. So would you do that for me right now? Would you subscribe to the channel? Asking you for a favor. Would you also like and share this with someone? And then lastly, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever new content comes from this channel. The other thing, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'm going to be adding toward the end of the program, I'm going to be adding a ticker that's going to have our website, our email, and also I put the Twitter there is because what I do is if you want to come into the chat, what we do is you go to our Twitter page and then use the link that's there to come into the chat room. So you can ask questions, you can have comments, and you can state your concerns, and we can have a conversation about it respectfully, maturely, and adultly. Okay, that's the most important thing. Listen, my birthday's this week. This Friday birthday, and I will be a year older. And I'm appreciating all that has been graced to me through the time that I've been. I've seen many go. I'm here, and I'm a firm believer that if you find purpose, and I'm not putting anyone down, but if you find purpose and begin to fulfill your purpose, it will lengthen and strengthen your life. It will lengthen and strengthen your Maybe we need to talk more, do that on Purpose Sphere channel and begin to speak more about that, how purpose lengthens and strengthens your life. Yeah, sounds like a good topic. But tonight's topic, this broadcast topic, is masculinity and femininity in modern. Now, I hear a lot of people talking about this. I hear people talking about the pros and cons both ways. Um, if you're a man and you speak negative or was perceived as being negative, you're or misogynistic. Okay, if you speak pro for what's going on in the media, you have a tendency to be deemed as a beta male or a feminist or whatever. Well, I want to come from a different perspective, and the perspective is always I'm always going to be talking about development, human development. Why is that important? Human development is what is going to cure what ails our community, culture, and clan. The things that we see as problems, assistance. I'm of a firm belief that you are an answer to something. Now the question is what? The question is what? We're all, and no one's the answer to the same thing. No one, not even twins, not even twins. So the most that thing that you're supposed to be doing, that thing that you were sent here to do, and again, I talk about how we come into this sphere called Earth, and how in this sphere of Earth, where formula, I say formula, I'm talking about formulas like H2O, we're talking about chemical formulas and laws, universal laws and principles. Actually, a principle is the overriding um, foundational driving force for all law, not civic law. Civic laws are made by men who have, in most cases, hidden agendas, ulterior motives that favor one way or another. But universal law favors humanity and will always, I should say, the universal laws will always be above, excuse me, civil law because of the fact that universal law comes from a higher place of authority. And that place of authority is principles. And so it's important to understand that part of who you are is the direction, right? The direction of the universe. The energies that you come, uniforms you wear is a direct connection with the design that you are intended by the universe to have. For you to be the best you that you could possibly be is to be and to appreciate and to embrace as. Because everything that comes, however it comes, whatever you look on the market, any product that comes on the market, its success is basically defined by the reader of it. No matter what the product is, the idea came from the mind of the creator of it. And the creator designed it and had for it that it was to answer a specific need. You are assigned to meet a need. Now, what is that need? Now, and what's important now is to understand that the binary is an example of the binary powers of everything that flows in this realm. Everything flows in two unit by by two. Two meaning that there is a positive and negative. There's a positive and negative. There's a hot and cold. There is a yin and a yang, right? And so these binary uh, assignments are incredible what you were sent here to do. So if we're going to heal our land, if we're going to heal our community, if we're going to heal our culture, if we're going to heal our families, then what we have to do is we've got to find, focus our individual, and bring to fruition our individual purpose. So how do you do that? Well, you need to go to purpose sphere. But what I will say this, one of the most important pieces of fulfilling the reason and changing our culture, community, and clan is to understand the and femininity. When you understand that, you begin to get a clear viewpoint of what the media is attempting to do right now, what they're trying to do. Now, again, this is not a put down. This is an observation. And what I stand on the wall and I look out. And as I look out, I ascertain the what's going on in the land. What's coming over the hill? What's coming our way? What kind of dangers and threats and violence is coming our way? What kind of forces are coming against force coming against masculinity and femininity? It's not just one, it's coming against both. It's coming against both. And it's important to understand that so that we can begin to grasp the importance of that suit that you're wearing. I'm talking about the suit that you came here with, the suit that you were born with, not the suit that you have surgically changed, chemically changed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you came here is what the universe is the optimal way for you to fulfill the reason and the thing that you're supposed to be doing. So let's talk about masculinity and femininity. Okay. Now, masculine and feminine are not, say this time and time again, not genders. They're operations and functions that are outside of this realm to cause us to understand the importance of operation and function. Because are the mode of which we are going to bring about purpose and change our community, culture, and clan through purpose. You know, a lot of people want to have productivity, they want prosperity. Everything that you're looking for is in your purpose. Everything that you would possibly want to gain, happiness, fulfillment, pleasure, right, is there. It's there. Posterity, it's there in your purpose. But you've got to understand there are some prerequisites. And one of the is to understand that your design is a part of your equipment to fulfill your purpose. Now, masculinity and femininity. Again, masculine and feminine are not gender, but to operate, okay, masculine and feminine had to put on masculinity and femininity. And masculinity and femininity puts on male and female, or boy and girl, I should say, not male and female, but boy and girl. Masculine puts on boy, feminine puts on girl. And your physical design that intuitively tells you what the universe intended for you to be. If you have the masculine build and masculine equipment, then it's because, or I should say, if you have the masculinity of a male, then it's to say that masculine is what your intended principle is, and that is when you're talking about masculinity, masculine on masculinity, you're talking about You're talking about penetrate, talking about insertion, injection, right? And so those kinds of principles, you can see and understand how those are indicative of how the masculinity design is formulated here. If you can't do those things, if you can't insert, inject, penetrate, or pierce, then you are not. Masculinity is not your gender. It is not your force. It is not your. That's not to say that you're worthless. It's just saying what you've done is you have gone outside of the design for whatever reason, and in most cases, it's not your fault. I would dare say never your fault. No, I'll take that back and say it's never your fault because you were born a boy or a girl, a baby. It's the responsibility of those who reared you to rear you in a masculine in line with your design. So it is never your fault. And I'm not putting you down. I'm not. It's not your fault. Someone say, well, I feel like I'm at the place that I made this choice that you can make a choice like that as a child. As a child, did you think about going out and playing in traffic in the middle of the interstate? How about would your parent let you do that? No, no. You were taught profitable. That's not what's best for you. That's not what's designed for you. You don't go play in the middle of the interstate, but you learn how to matriculate and how to through the highway as you get older. You gain knowledge and awareness, and you're taught. Right? It's the same thing with this design. You have to be taught to masculinity, and masculinity can only be taught to you by that which is masculinity, not posing as masculinity, not putting on the traits of masculinity, but innately and universally masculine. Now, flip side, feminine. Feminine is equally as important to masculine. Again, feminine is not a gender. It, it is a function, and it's a means and a way of operating. Okay, it's a way of operating. So feminine. What feminine does is receives. It receives. It incubates or covers. Right. It protects and it secures. Right. That's what feminine does. And again, with feminine into this sphere, what it calls for is to put on a human body, and that human body is femininity. Like masculinity, femininity must. You can't make a choice to do that. You can make a choice, but it's not going to be beneficial. This is what happens when, understand this, when a product doesn't function the creator or the developer intended. What happens to that product? There's normally a recall, isn't it? In other words, what happens as a result, that product's marketability and sustainability is shortened. It's shortened. Now, here's the caveat. It can be fixed. There is a way that the product can be fixed. And if the product is fixed, it can continue on being of service, what was intended by the producer. But if the product can't be rectified for whatever reason, normally it's recalled. And what I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to say this, I just got to be honest with you. If we don't do what we're supposed to do, not by me, I mean, because I don't know you, so I can't be specifically talking to you. But I can say this: if you don't do what you're created to do, then your ability, your time on the market is going to be short. That's not me. Look at how production works from a natural standpoint. It's a type and shadow of what exactly happens with us. And that productive is in the area of doing what you were sent to do. You will be sustained. You will be your days will be many because of your productivity and your serviceability. Okay. And so what we've got to do is both in our femininity as men, and in our as femininity as our women, and masculinity as our men. What we've got to do is we've got to first embrace the masculinity, embrace your femininity that you innately and universally came in with. That's the first thing. And once you do that, what happens to you is you have a that no one can take from you. No one. Because it's based on something outside of yourself. Listen, your masculinity and your femininity was not selected by your parents. Your parents didn't determine that. The universe did. And there's a reason for that. Because in that reason for you being here in the suit that you're in is purpose. And with purpose only gives you a reason, but gives you the productivity and the prosperity and everything that you've been looking for, chasing this, that, and the other. Okay. Anyway, about what we're seeing in the media. Modern day media takes its marching orders from certain cultural. That's why it's important for you to find purpose, because purpose allows you to productively address a need within community, culture, and clan. And what is happening now is this cultural that's being bombarded in our community, and the media is helping to perpetuate that. They're pushing the agenda. They're pushing the agenda. And so what we're seeing is a doing away with masculinity, a decrease in the importance and necessity of masculinity, and an increase of femininity. And it's not even femininity. I'll take that as feminism. It's an increase in feminism because feminism sees no use for masculinity. This is what's driving the media. The media is being driven by an agenda that says that we don't need men. Yeah. You don't need masculine men. You don't need you don't need the shoulders, the biceps, and you don't need the strong legs and the calves and the thighs. You don't need the muscle chest. Yes, you do. You need all that. Signs of the very thing that you bring to the table as a masculine male or a boy or a man. It's not about the muscles as it is those muscles as is your whole design. Bring strong shoulders means that you can withstand a lot. Now I'm not saying that women can't. I'm saying I'm talking to the masculine and the masculinity of your build. Everything is indicative or indicative of a quality, of an attribute. Just like masculinity says that you insert, inject, penetrate, right? Right? And insert. So those are attributes, those are qualities. And if you look at every product, it's either masculine or feminine. Binary. Everything. From at a very foundational level, it's going to be either insert or it's going to receive. It's going to penetrate or it's going okay. And it's important to understand if you're gonna operate in harmony, you got to understand what is what and operate in concert with that and flow with that. If it's masculine, you've got to be able to flow. You got to be a validity of it in your masculine. If it's feminine, then it's femininity, and you got to be able to flow with it in your femininity. That brings about harmony. But what the media wants to do is to disrupt the harmony by for the other. Now there was a day when we were the other way around. It was totally masculine. Now it wasn't even masculine. It was misogynist and it was chauvinistic. Now the pendulum has swung all the way, and this is what we do. We go from two extremes, from one to the other extremes. That's what we do. But the truth is in the middle. The balance of understanding and appreciating both feminine in their proper place. They're equal, but not the same. I hear people say, no, the men are not equal to women. Women aren't equal to men. Yeah, they are. We're equal, but not designed different. Look at the design. We fit one to another. We need one to another. And until we get that, until we understand that, we're going to continue to have what we're having, the pendulum swinging. And I'll talk about that pendulum in one of my broadcasts. But we're seeing us swing. And now it's swinging to a place where you're seeing media perpetrating that feminism it's dangerous. It's extremely, extremely dangerous. Okay, for the masses of women, females, and girls, it's extremely dangerous. What can happen with that is we leave our women and our females and our girls unprotected. And if you and there's the feminists would tell that you don't need a man to protect you. Yes, you do. You do need a man to protect you because of the way he's built, and he needs you equally, but differently by the way that you're built and the things that those attributes that are signaled through your build. The breast represents her ability to nurse or to nurture, right? Right? And we can go on. I mean, her hips represent her knows that birth is not just children. Women give birth because of the way that they're designed. You know, I hear people say that women are smarter than men. No, they're not. They're just built differently. They're designed differently. They think differently. And because women think from a broad perspective. It's important to understand what I'm going to say. They think globally. That's why it seems like women never come to a conclusion on a matter because they're considering so much that it continues on and on and on and on and on to the place that they don't decision. As a man, because a man is targeted and a visionary is always someone that is pointing at a specific target. And so the woman helps man see globally, the man helps the woman to see pinpointedly. Okay. And we come to plan on how to get to that from point A to point B. That broad perspective of a woman's vision, or not her vision, but her ability to think how to maneuver and get to that, is why some think she's smart. No, she's not smart. She's just designed differently to help get from point A supposed to do. But now what we have is the media is pushing this agenda where women don't need men, and you can have a vision and you can go and do it all without a man. That is not the plan of the universe. You're going to short circuit yourself. You're operating outside of your design. When you have vision, that means vision is pinpointed. That is insertion. That is penetrating. That's what vision is. Vision is a masculine concept. Vision is a masculine concept when you have vision. Now, what you do with that vision is you relate that vision to your woman, and your woman receives that vision. That is a feminine concept. Her receiving that and helping to navigate, looking at this, basically doing a SWOT analysis and looking at how we can get from point A to point B. And that's how we'll be successful. A person, whether it's male and female, if they're truly successful, there's a male and female associated with it. Anything that's going to be universally or godly, but by binary, it has to have both masculinity and femininity. But the media is going to tell us that that's not necessary. And so what we're doing is we're buying into it, and it's will lead to our demise. Listening to people who have no idea what true masculinity or femininity is, and that are pushing an agenda. Some people think I'm pushing an agenda. The only agenda I'm pushing is purpose. We need to solve the problems and what ails our community, culture, and clan. And the only way we can do that is that everyone find their purpose. Find your purpose and be about doing it. Now, I talk about this too. Your passion is not your purpose. It's not. Look at I got a tape, a broadcast tape. I got a broadcast that talks about that very subject. Purpose is not passion. Go over to purpose fear. I'm telling you, I'm talking about purpose fear stuff now. But the bottom line is this: no one understands that the media has an agenda. I hear women saying, "Well, I don't need a man to protect me. I'm going to get me a gun." And listen, a gun or shooting is a masculine concept. It's not feminine. In the masses, men will always shoot better than women because it's in them. It's a part of that insertion. A bullet inserts, right? Pierces. That is a masculine function. Everything functions either masculinely or feminine. So yeah, you may be an excellent shot. You may, ladies, you may be an excellent shot. But know that that's not your best. You're not designed that way. And what happens when you run out of bullets? Then what? There's some women that think that they can literally, physically beat up men. They really think that they can. And there are some that could, especially in these down in this day and age where we have these males that that are smaller than women. The women are bigger, way more, have more muscles, maybe not muscles, but just more weight. These men have no about them in their mind or their bodies. And it's because of that that those men who do have masculinity is deemed as being misogynistic or chauvinistic because we understand the importance of masculinity, the necessity of masculinity and femininity. There's an equal importance to femininity. We need her. I even say here. I've heard people say, and I've even said it before that, and I've been checked by the universe saying that women don't need that men don't need women. Well, there's a caveat to that. We don't need them in certain areas relative to survival, but then we need them in other areas in order for us to procreate and to maintain and be sustained. Because what they bring to the table is equally as important, right? You give her a house, she'll give you a home. You give her a seed, she'll give you a baby. She always multiplies whatever it is that you give her. And if she doesn't, it's because she's not a woman. That's what women do. Females don't. Girls can't. Did you hear what I just said? But her importance, the woman's importance, can never be underestimated. She's equal, but not the same. Her design is so very important. Important to our sustainability. If it wasn't for her, we would not be here. We would have died out or not done some things because she has the knack of motherly intuition that cares, concerns, and covers. It's part of her design. The men go out to protect, right? And the way that you protect is that you pierce, you insert, or whatever you have to do to protect. Anyway, I could go on about some other things that relative to what we're seeing in the media. What we're seeing in the media is we're seeing the media say that women can go out and do um, things equal on. That's not true because and there's things that a man cannot do equally on the level of a woman. Okay, the media is replacing. You look at the media. The media is replacing the headship of a family with the woman and not the man. The men are weak. They lack masculinity, true masculinity. Well, true is man. I mean, this whole idea of toxic masculinity and true masculinity. Those really aren't words. They really aren't real. Masculinity is it. There is no true or toxic masculinity. If it's toxic, it's not masculinity. It's something else. But true masculinity is not something that has to be, you have to use the description of true. It is masculinity. But what we're seeing is the replacement of uh, men as head of household with women. And they're pushing that agenda. And in some communities, that agenda, that idea has been pushed for decades. In some cultures, the masculine is only seen as, or masculinity is only seen as negative, dysfunctional, right? It's only seen as lacking. It's only seen as uh, inconsiderate. It's only seen as something that limits, restricts, and that's not what masculinity does. Nope, that's not what masculinity does. But this is what the media wants us to believe. In some cultures, the woman has replaced men. You can see it in the movies. You see more and more women relationships, and more likely, the masculine part of the relationship between those those females, they're not women, those females, is the black female takes on the masculine role. That's dangerous for black women because what it does, it leaves our women uncovered. And some people say, well, she's already uncovered. It's going to lead to even more dangerous situations. And I'm not saying that to be uh, a fearmonger. I'm telling you what I'm looking out and I'm seeing. I'm standing on the wall, and this is what I'm seeing. It's going to leave women susceptible to forces, violence, right, that are unprecedented and that most are not prepared for. And I could go on, but I think that's enough. I think it's important that we understand that the media is pushing an agenda, and the agenda that it's pushing is not toward masculinity or femininity. It's feminism, the eradication of masculinity, the eradication of masculinity. So, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? Here's what we need to do. We need women to stand up for femininity. Boldly, unashamedly stand up and declare femininity. Now, there's one thing you need to also know. You can't stand up for masculinity because you're not masculine. You can't tell a woman how to handle a man. You got to handle your own man, and every man is not the same. So you telling women how to handle men and how you're out of pocket again. You're out of pocket again. What you should be doing is tell women how to be feminine. That's all. How to be feminine. I've seen some channels on YouTube where women are just talking about, and these are very attractive women, very feminine. You could hear, you're like, man, these are women that are teaching and talking about femininity. She's not trying to tell you how to handle a man and what a man wants and what a man is looking for. She doesn't know. All she knows is what she's experienced. And her experiences pales in comparison to the millions and billions of men that are on this planet. But you can tell speak to the feminine nature because you have that. Same side of the coin, opposite side of the coin for men. Bottom line is you should be speaking. Now, let me preface this. The men is different. You're not going to like this. The men are different because men can speak into women, but women cannot speak into men. And there's a reason for that. You need to go in the purpose sphere to see that, to gain an understanding of that. Men are designed to be able to speak toward women and to speak about what women are supposed to do and to speak toward masculinity. You're not going to like that one. I know. You're going to like this. Okay, but it is the truth. And there's reasons behind that are very, very important, but we're not going to get into it here because it's time to close up. But I want you to go to our other channel, Purpose Sphere, and in Purpose Sphere, okay, it talks about the sphere or the operation of purpose, and we talk about these things more specifically. Okay, I hope you got something out of this. I appreciate you tuning in. I know that you could be doing something else, but again, please subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell so you know what we have coming down the pipe. I need your help. This is a message. This is a message. This is a message. It's not mine. Believe me, it's not mine. But I need your support. And I'm asking for that. Subscribe to this channel so it pushes the algorithm up and so that more people can view what we have here on the Red Hot Mic. I want to say also in subscribing, liking, sharing, hitting the notification bell. Also, we upload a broadcast at least 3 times a week. Okay? 3 times a week. At least. Sometimes more. The key here is to ruminate, elevate, and to activate. And if we're going to do that, we can change, challenge, and we can cultivate our community, culture, and clan in the way that it's supposed to be. But it has to be us being willing first for our women to stand up and speak about femininity. We need our men to stand up and speak about masculinity and speak to our women. We need you to remain in the home, and no, not separate. Remain in the home. You need to get married, because if you get married, it brings you to a place where you have to stay. If you're not married, it's easy to pack your stuff and leave. But we need you in the home. Your sons need you. It's different than having your son and in the home as opposed to out. He's still he's under the auspices of the headship of a woman in the home when the father is not there. You need to be in the home. Whatever the problem is with her, you need to work it out. There's plenty of ways to work it out. The number one way of working it out is putting purpose first. Put your children second. That's actually community, culture, clan. That's part of the clan. So they're really not even second. Community, culture, clan. So what we're doing is in a lot of these single family homes, especially females, the kids are first. That's wrong. That's wrong. And with the guys, the kids aren't even a question. With some guys. But the statistics are really pointing to the fact that they are more functional fathers than they want us to believe. There are. But anyway, that's another thing. We can talk about it another time. I appreciate you tuning in. And then the next thing I want to talk about is that this whole thing about the truth. I want to talk about the truth about toxic masculinity. I talked about it a little bit, but I want to go into it more in depth and talk about toxic masculinity, because you hear that all the time. We hear toxic masculinity ascribed to a mental health disorder, and masculinity in itself is being ascribed a mental health disorder, and it's called narcissism. That's because they don't understand masculinity. It's not narcissistic. That's not that's not masculinity. It's not. That's something else. It's not masculinity. But we're going to talk about that in our next broadcast. We're going to talk about the truth about masculinity and femininity. All right. So until the next time we come together, let me give you. I want to give you and show you our website and our email, right? And I thought I put the uh, Twitter account in there, but I didn't. But I'm going to do that. I'll add that and make sure that that's in the feed as well, so that you can get our Twitter address, so that you can get the link, so you can come in and we can start having some conversation. I really welcome that. Want that? Okay. Well, again, my birthday is Friday. Okay, and I'm going away in I'm going to be in South Carolina. So I'll be broadcasting from South Carolina and North Carolina. Excuse me, and from Philadelphia. I'll be in Philadelphia as well. So busy, but help me. I need your help. I need your help, and I can't do it without it. I can't broadcast live the way that I want to because I don't have enough subscribers. Maybe you know some folks are okay with that. It's amazing how um, I don't even get help from guys. I mean, it's amazing. But anyway, it is what it is. I leave it in the hands of the Creator, and sooner or later, I believe things that need to happen will happen, and so we'll continue on. So I appreciate you coming in to the broadcast. So until the next time we come together, I want to bid you. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Anyway, I'll bid you adieu. So until the next time, peace.